All right, fellas, welcome back to another video. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about workout splits, which split I think is the best. So stick around to find out what I think about that. Now, to start off, I would first like to say that if you go back in history, if you watch any type of bodybuilding documentary and you look at what champion bodybuilders have done, what has worked for them, what got them to that level, the winning level, the highest level there is, you will come to realize that they all did different shit. All right. No one really did the same split. There might have been guys who had similar splits to other guys that won and were very successful. But for the most part, everyone had their own way about, just going about it and working out and building muscle. Everyone had their own way of doing things, is what I'm trying to say here. You guys know what I mean? And although they might have been doing the same workouts, similar workouts, probably all the same shit, especially old timer guys like Arnold, I can't even think of any other golden era bodybuilders. I don't really care that much about that era. But Silva era guys, Steve Reeves, Clancy Ross, man, even John Grimmick, the great John Grimmick, they all did different shit, okay? And they all found success doing that. So you guys are probably like, well, what's the best split then? And I'll get to that in a moment. But for now, I want to talk about what a lot of these champion bodybuilders did. So to start off, I'd like to talk about John Grimmick. Now, if you guys don't know who John Grimmick is, he was an absolute stud. Okay, he was undefeated, I'm pretty sure. And they actually didn't let him compete because he just won too much. That's how good he was. And when it came to his training, what he did, he was very, very much focused on strength and I guess you could say like powerlifting almost, but also with bodybuilding because he also was in the Olympics. I know he did a lot of strongman stuff. He was just a strong guy. And he was very bulky, but he had an insane physique. He wasn't lean like the guys you see today. He was probably around like, I don't know, maybe 18% body fat. But he was undefeated. He found success doing that. And again, he was a beast. If you go and look at his physique, the pictures that are online, the guy was a beast. You will see for yourself that what he did obviously worked for him. Now we can go to Steve Reeves, one of my favorite bodybuilders personally. He did 3 full body workouts a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And that's what he swears by in his book. And although he's my favorite bodybuilder, that doesn't really work for me because those workouts just take too long. And I don't really like working out for that long. I like working out for about an hour to an hour and 20 minutes, not 2 hours. And that's how long it took me when I used to do full body workouts. Now, when it comes to Arnold, I've also done the Arnold split. I tried the Steve Reeves split first, but I've also done the Arnold split, which is chest and back on one day, arms on another, arms and shoulders, and then legs, of course. Now, Arnold did a lot of volume, but that was his split, okay? I did that for a few years, actually, and I don't like doing chest and back on the same day. I just find it too hard, too straining. Now, that worked for him, though. So I'm not trying to badmouth any of these splits that I'm talking about here. I'm just saying all these things worked for these guys. And they're basically all different, and they all swear by it. If you read their books or if they're still alive, if you watch them talk about what they did, they all swear by it. Now, I'll talk about the split I'm doing right now, and that is the Dorian Yates split. I got this from watching his Blood and Guts, like VHS video or whatever. I don't have the VHS, but I watched it on YouTube, and he does chest with biceps, back with triceps, and then legs on one day and then shoulders on another day. Now, I'm doing this split right now because I wanted to switch things up. I've always done arm days, and I've always liked doing arm days. I found a lot of success doing arm days, but I've been training for a while, and I just wanted to switch things up. So I've been doing this for the past couple months. I really like this split because it helps me focus on my shoulders a hell of a lot more than I used to, and that's pretty much why I'm doing it. Now, in this part of the video, I will talk about why these guys were all successful, and it's not because they did this type of split, they did push-pull legs, they did that, whatever, this, that. It's not about that, okay? These guys were all highly successful bodybuilders because of the level of intensity that they brought to their training, the level of focus, the level of determination, and again, just the level of intensity. All right, look at me doing these rows here, 125-pound dumbbell. This is quite challenging for me, and I'm just going at it. All right, you got to bring this type of intensity to your workouts. Doesn't matter if you're doing one muscle on one day. You know, it doesn't matter if you have to do triceps with chest because the triceps help your chest movements, the push on the chest movements. None of that matters, okay? You have to try different things out. This is another thing I will like to say. Bring the intensity, but try different things, okay? I did Steve Reeves 3 full body workouts a week when I first started training. I did that for about a year and a half. And, you know, I got in shape. You know, I got decent size to me, but I really don't think I brought a great intensity to that program when I look back on it now. And I feel like if I was to do it again, if I had the time to do it again, I could definitely bring much more intensity to it and probably get better results. And I say to try everything out because you're not going to know what is the best thing for you. Okay, everyone's different. Obviously, we can see that was the case with all the champion bodybuilders I just talked about. And there's tons more. You know, bodybuilding's been around for a long time. There's been a lot of champions. And I bet you they all did something a little different. You know, they all had things that worked for them and might have not worked for other guys. So you got to try everything out. You know, maybe you have to do push-pull legs for a little bit. Maybe you have to do full body workouts for a little bit. Maybe you have to try the Dorian Yates split for a little bit. What I'm trying to say here, and hopefully you guys are getting the message, is that you need to find what works for you, because bodybuilding is not a cookie cutter sport, I guess you can call it, right? It is a sport, basically. So nothing's cookie cutter, right? You got to find what works for you. Now, I know a ton of guys that do push-pull legs, but I feel like way too many guys do push-pull legs because it's like the new big thing now, right? And I also think I just think it's really easy for guys to do push-pull legs. But again, the message I'm trying to drive home here, find what works for you, okay? Tread the waters, test everything out. I've done Steve Reeves split. I've done Arnold split for a while. I'm doing the Yates split right now. And, you know, honestly, to be completely honest with you guys, it's about the level of intensity that I bring and just the focus. You know, it's all about the mindset you have. If you go into it thinking that you can't grow or whatever, you know, obviously you're not going to freaking grow, right? You got to put a high level of focus, high level of determination, and of course, the highest level of intensity that you can possibly bring to the table. Do that for every workout. You know, take your rest days when needed. And it's really not going to matter what freaking split you do. All right? As long as you're hitting your weak points, working on your weak points, putting those at the forefront, and then getting everything else done as well. And again, bringing high level focus, determination, and intensity to that. I know I sound like a broken record here, but it's simple shit. Okay? It really is. Guys, I appreciate you watching, tuning in. I'll see you in a few days for another episode. And again, thank you so much for watching.